Hi everyone, it's me Rachel. I hope you had a good week. This week is the week before Halloween, and so I'm going to do something Halloween related. Today I'm going to be talking about personal paranormal experiences, like ghosts and stuff, okay? If you don't believe in this stuff, that's A-okay, because I know it's going to sound really out there, and I understand that you this may not be your cup of tea. If it's not, that is totally fine. You don't have to watch this, obviously. I do believe, because I've had experience with it, and they're pretty creepy. And I'm going to tell you about four different times. These are not all the experiences I've had, but they are by far the most interesting, okay? So I'm going to start with my very, very first experience, okay? I was in a hotel in Austin, Texas, and it was a really old hotel, a couple hundred years old, I think, and apparently we found this out when we were signing out, like a week later, that apparently someone hung themselves in the room I was in. I was 12 at the oldest. I was 12 at the oldest at this time, and it was a 12-year-old girl that had hung herself, which is really, really scary to find out. I had already been hurt on this trip. That's a story for another place and another time. But in that hotel room, the reason I was there was because my mom was on a business trip, and I got to go with her since I was homeschooled at the time. So I got to go with her. And while she was in her meetings, I would stay in the hotel room, and I'd sleep in. Well, one day I was sleeping in, and I feel someone playing with my hair. My hair was a lot longer then. My hair was down past my ankles at this point, okay? I chopped it all off a couple years ago, because I'm an idiot. And so I'm in bed, and I feel someone playing with my hair, and I'm just like, oh, Mom must be back. So I just ignored it and tried to go back to but then it like lifted up off of my neck and started like moving. And so I slowly turned, and there's nobody there. And my hair is just floating in the air, braiding itself. I did not know what to do. I was so scared that I just jumped up and ran out of that hotel room. I'm in my nightgown, my Winnie the Pooh nightgown, and I run downstairs and barge into my mama's meeting, crying. I was so afraid. I look back on it and I'm like, why was I afraid? It was just braiding my hair. I mean, one less thing I have to do, right? But at the time, it was scary, and I cried for hours. I would not go back up there. They changed us to a different room because I was in such hysterics. And that's actually when we found out that the little girl had killed herself. That's just a little creepy. The next time I'm going to tell you about happened a couple of years later. I was 14. I had just started high school. I was home alone. I lived out in the country. I had 12 acres. Really, lots of property, lots of room. And let me give you a visual image. So if I'm standing at my back door, there's my backyard. There's a bunch of trees about 40 feet back. Big old copse of trees. Like, it's a little forest. It's a miniature forest. I mean, you go a couple of miles and you'll get out. Maybe that's not miniature. I don't know. But, and then like it cuts off about 40 feet to your right. And then there's a circle drive where we would drive in and park. That's my phone. And past that is like a pasture of about an acre. And in that pasture is an old broken down truck that we had parked out there because we were going to fix it up for me. We never did do that, by the way. We just ended up junking it. It was so damaged. But anyways, I wasn't home alone. I was with my grandmother. And she had a little chihuahua named Peanut. Peanut never made a sound, okay? We even had someone break in. He did not make a sound. He did not care. He is a quiet dog. He does not bark, ever. And one night, it's just me and my Mimi. My mom and dad were having like a date night or something. I don't even remember. And Peanut suddenly jumps up and runs to the back door and bark, 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 bark. And he's just so worked up. And Mimi and I are just like, what the heck? So I get up, I get my dad's BB gun. That's the only gun I know how to shoot. And I go and peek out the back door. And over standing by that broken down truck is this huge, dark, black figure with glowing red eyes. And I was so scared. My first instinct was to shoot at it, and I did. And I shot at it, and it vanished without a trace. And when I say huge, it was at least 7 feet tall, and it looked bodybuilder big. It was massive, and it scared me so much. The third thing I'm going to tell you about happened here in the house I'm in now. And I've only lived here since June. So I've only been here 4 months. And this happened the very first week we lived here, okay? And like, I had just gotten a bunch of my clothes. Like, my Mimi had taken me and bought clothes because I had none. I literally had no clothes. I had like 2 outfits, period. And my grandma bought me a bunch of outfits, and I hung them up in my closet. And the next day, when I got up, they were in a completely different order. Nobody had come into my room at night. It was very strange because, like, they were color-coded, and, like, I arrange them, I don't know how I arrange them really weird, okay? Like, I go from fancy to normal, casual, normal. I go from fancy to casual, but instead of them being fancy to casual the next morning, it was like rainbow. And then there were clothes in there that didn't belong to anyone in our house, which was really weird. And like the next night, it happened again, only they were in a completely different order. And I'm like, okay, someone is playing a prank on me. So I set my mama's camera up to film, and I don't have that film anymore, unfortunately. She recorded over it. But what that film showed is that they lifted up off of the rack themselves, by themselves, like the hangers, and moved on their own. And it was terrifying. Like, what the heck? What kind of ghost wants to rearrange my closet? Like, I guess it could be worse. And then the fourth story I'm going to tell you about happened. Actually, it only happened a few weeks ago. And I was in bed, and it was probably 2 in the morning, and I hear movement. I'm just like, it must be my cat, Lila, and I'm just like, oh, go away, Lila, I'm trying to sleep. Well, that noise kept getting louder, and then I was like, that isn't Lila. Like, it was like boots, like, not boots, but it was hard-soled shoes clicking on the floor. Well, no one in my house has hard-soled shoes. We all have like tennis shoes and sneakers and things that are comfy. And like, we don't even tend to wear our shoes in our house anyways. Like, we all run around barefoot. So and then they stopped near my bed, at the foot of my bed, and I'm like, okay, that's a little creepy. So I slowly sit up and see, like, we sleep with the light on, so it's pretty bright in my room because my grandma's terrified of the dark, okay? And so we sleep with the light on most of the time. And I sit up, and there's this figure at the foot of my bed watching me. And it was a man's figure. And my first thought was, oh my god, someone's broken into our house. And I just stared at it. I just stared. I did not know what to do. I wasn't really afraid. I was a little creeped out, yeah, but I wasn't really afraid. I didn't feel any bad vibes, so to speak, but I was just like, I'm in my nightgown, can you not watch me sleep? And then it disappeared. I don't know what to make of that, okay? It was really weird. But anyways, those are my paranormal experiences. I have quite a few more. If you want to hear about them, leave a comment, tweet me, message me on Tumblr. I'll leave links to all of that below. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. Next week I'll be doing another Halloween video, so keep your eyes peeled. Don't forget to smile, because a smile will light up the world. I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I will see you next Friday. Bye.